Am I the asshole for not accepting my sister's relationship with my ex despite her having cancer as a teenager? My 25 female father married my stepsister's 23 female mother when I was 4 and she was 3. We've lived together most of our lives and we are a family. She and I were extremely close. She developed cancer when she was 14 and was sick for about 2 years. She's since made a full recovery. During that time, my parents became understandably overprotective. They also asked a lot of me. I quit my extracurricular activities so I could get a job. The money went towards her medical bills, and so I could drive her to appointments. I didn't go to dances, and any fun activities I did needed to include her. I did almost all of this willingly, the exception being having to quit my high school volleyball team. I did throw a bit of a tantrum about that, but was swiftly punished. And I think having one emotional breakdown was pretty chill given the circumstances. Anyhow, I go to college and meet my ex. Let's call him Ben. When I'm a junior, we fall in love, blah, blah, blah. He and I move in together when we graduate. So we've been living together for about 3 years. We were serious until July when I walked into my bedroom and saw him screwing my sister. I broke it off. Tears were shed. He moved out, etc. My sister apologized at first, but then backed off. I thought she was giving me space, but last week she called and asked if we could meet up. She then told me that she and Ben were in love and were just telling me as a courtesy before they started posting photos online. Distraught, I left her in the restaurant by herself and did not pay my portion of the bill. She later Venmo'd me asking me for the money. She told my parents, who then called me into their house, telling me how disappointed in me they are for not supporting my sister's relationship with Ben. They brought up the fact that because she had cancer as a teenager, she never learned proper social etiquette and has a hard time meeting people. I don't buy this, in part because I've seen her socialize just fine. And since we spent a good chunk of the time she was sick together, that would also mean that I should have bad social skills as well, by that logic. They then told me that if I don't accept my sister and Ben's relationship, they may have to go no contact with me. I reminded them that I'm also their daughter and they should understand my point of view. But they are adamant that this is about me being jealous of her. For the record, I'm not jealous of her. I'm not upset that Ben picked her over me. I'm sad about the end of the relationship and I do feel betrayed. But Lord knows that I don't want to be with a cheater. What I'm upset about is the fact that my sister chose Ben over me, that she slept with Ben knowing he and I were in a long-term committed relationship and continues to be with him knowing how much it hurts me. No one in my immediate family is talking to me, and I'm getting messages from aunts and uncles and cousins telling me that I'm an asshole and a selfish bee. So, am I the asshole for not accepting my sister's relationship with my ex despite her having cancer as a teenager? Update. Sometimes you can only laugh. I just got off the phone with my cousin who saw this post and said he could explain a few things. I asked him why he was on Reddit instead of school, and he asked me why I was on Reddit instead of work. I said, touche. He told me that after my conversation with my mom, she went to his house and talked to my aunt. And here's the deal. It turns out my sister is not only in a relationship with Ben, but she is 4 months pregnant, which means she and Ben were screwing around for longer than I had even guessed. Apparently, my parents are so adamant that I forgive her because I'm already ruining their experience of their first grandchild. That's right. I'm less important than my stepmom posting ultrasounds to Facebook. This is where we're at. Anyhow, I called out of work sick the rest of the day, and I'm gonna go drink a lot of alcohol, like a lot of alcohol. And then I'll start thinking about what the heck I'm gonna do next. Am I the asshole for telling my husband's friend he isn't welcome to our house until he starts calling my son by his real name? My 27 female husband, 29 male, has a friend, male 30, from college, who he calls brother. They are inseparable. They hang out together a lot and are very close. His friend tends to act rudely sometimes. He's stubborn and thinks he's some sense of humor. I tolerate his behavior since it's not that weird, but things got worse when I got pregnant. He started calling my unborn son Thomas, even though we told him I picked my grandfather's name for my son. He kept doing it even after my son was born. Not only that, but he'd post pictures of my son on Facebook and type Tommy instead of my son's original name, which got people confused. I talked to my husband and then explained to his friend that he should stop calling my son Thomas, but he kept doing it even more. He came up with more nicknames besides the name itself. It all came to a head last night when my husband's friend visited us while family was visiting. Once he walked in, he repeatedly started calling my son Thomas. Everyone was confused and I felt awful. I angrily corrected him in front of everyone and told him my son's name is not Thomas. In his defense, he said that Thomas was a lot cooler and better than the name I picked. My family heard and they were hurt since that was my grandfather's name. I told him to stop calling him that, and he said he can call him Thomas while we can call him quote unquote whatever. No problem. I got mad and told him he's no longer welcome to our house until he learns to call my son with his real name and stop this disrespect. My husband's friend argued with me and then he left. It was awkward with my husband when he said he wants we should just accept it, but I humiliated and embarrassed his friend by berating him in front of my family, then kicked him out. He went on about him being our son's uncle and I should respect that. I stood my ground though, and I told him his friend is not welcome or even allowed to see our son unless he agrees to call him with his name. This upset my husband, and he's now saying his friend isn't speaking to him, and I might have ruined their 10 years of friendship with what I did. He added that I should stop trying to control what comes out of other people's mouths and respect their opinions, just like I should respect that his friend thinks the name my son has is stupid. So, am I the asshole? Was I being too controlling? Am I the asshole for not doing the laundry correctly? I moved in with my girlfriend a couple weeks ago, and so far things have been going okay. For context, she works as a nurse, and I am currently looking for a job. Yesterday, while she was working, she texted me and asked me to put away the laundry she did that morning before going to work. This already annoyed me because I had just spent an hour applying to jobs and I just wanted to relax and watch TV, but I did say okay. I never really cared about my clean clothes looking nice or anything while I'm not wearing them, so I kind of just cram my clothes in my dresser. I don't have a ton of clothes, so they fit fine. She, on the other hand, has a lot of clothing, so I finish doing the laundry and go back to watching TV. When she gets home, she starts screaming at me and telling me that I didn't do her laundry correctly. She was mad because I didn't fold her clothes and I just crammed them in the drawers and she couldn't get her drawers to open easily. I told her that that's how I do laundry, and if she didn't like it, then she should just do it herself. She started screaming at me again, and we went to bed angry. Today, she left for work without talking to me. So, am I the asshole for not doing the laundry correctly? I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I think that she's just really being difficult. Am I the asshole for giving my baby girl a big birthday gift? My daughter Steffi just turned 9 on Saturday. She's been asking for a Switch for a while now, and I think she's gotten old enough and mature enough that I could trust her with a big present like that. So the plan was always to give Steffi the Switch at her birthday party, which was the same day. However, that ended up falling through. We ended up not being able to pick up the Switch until Sunday morning. See, Steffi was invited to her classmate Jolie's party on Sunday, so I figured that since we were still in the party spirit, I would just give Steffi the Switch after cake at Jolene's party. Nothing more than that, just the unwrapping, and then the spotlight would be right back on Jolene. Besides, the girls are friends, so I figured it wouldn't be a big deal. They're 9. They're old enough to understand this was an accentuating circumstance. Or so I thought. Everything went as I had planned, and I thought it went well. But after the party was over, I got a call from Jolene's mom, essentially asking me what the heck I was thinking. That I was undermining her because she couldn't afford something like a Switch for Jolene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not raised Steffi to even really care about things like how much a present costs. Also, Jolene didn't even care because she had numerous new things to play with. And Stephanie shared her Switch with her, so it seems to me like everyone made out well. Jolene's mom also called me petty and a show-off. She and I do not like one another, and I won't sugarcoat it, but I put that aside for the kids because our issues aren't their fault, which Jolene's mom is definitely not doing. My husband says he gets where I'm coming from, but maybe should have at least waited until after Jolene's presents were open so she could have hers first. That's fair, but I'm not sure if that quite makes me an asshole to Jolene. So, am I the asshole for giving my baby girl a big birthday gift at someone else's birthday party?